Chapter 7 Jnana Vijnana Yoga. The first 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita explains the synthesis between work and knowledge. Chapters 7 to 12 explains the synthesis between knowledge and devotion. The discussion about the metaphysical aspect of the Gita begins from chapter 7. The infinite is something to be lived and experienced and cannot be easily explained. In chapter 7 of the Bhagavad Gita, which is the Jnana Vijnana Yoga, or the wisdom of knowledge, Krishna discusses his own godly nature. He explains to Arjuna who is Ishwar and what does Ishwar do for living beings, and reinforces the techniques to become one with God. Krishna emphasizes that by constant upasana or devotion, becoming one with God is possible. Krishna explains that he is the creator, sustainer, and destroyer of this universe, and nothing can happen without his grace. God is the only truth of life, and everything else is just an illusion. Man, unknowing of this, experiences sorrow and misery by assuming this illusionary world to be the truth, and thus gets defocused from the truth of seeking self or God. Jnana is the knowledge aspect, which Krishna says is the lower nature towards realizing God. Vijnana is the assimilated knowledge or higher nature to move towards God realization. Krishna explains the difference between both Jnana and Vijnana aspect. The Jnana consists of the 8 aspects that are essentially materialistic: earth, air, water, fire, space, and the mind, body, intellect are the lower nature. These have form and quality and can be differentiated from each other and are all dependent upon the higher nature, which is formless, absolute, devoid of any qualities, independent, nameless, and homogeneous. So one begins to worship the one with form first, and then gradually must elevate themselves to begin worshipping the higher, which is everywhere but is formless, who is all pervading but cannot be seen with our eyes. Suppose a small child is taken to a sand museum for the first time and is shown the beautiful structures formed with sand. He or she thinks that sand can be seen only in these various structures. To explain to him further, the parents may give him some sand in his hand to feel and experience its texture, and may motivate the child to try creating a small structure like he saw at the museum. Now the child constructs a sandcastle, which the parents may tell him to demolish and make another one. So the child understands the structures at the museum are also perishable. But sand is non-perishable and continues to enjoy creating various structures daily with the available sand. For this child, the quantity of sand is limited to what is available in his sand kit. If the parents take the child to a desert or a sea beach, the child wonders and is marveled at the quantity of sand that is available there and thinks the world is full of sand. Such is our adult experience with God. Initially, we think, Oh, God is only in the idols we worship and in the rituals we perform. Gradually, with little knowledge, we understand that God resides in each one of us. And eventually, we begin to believe that God is everywhere in every creation of His. Rituals are just performed for the satisfaction of a person. Performing a ritual can never lead to liberation. One must focus on the karma based on the three gunas to attain liberation eventually. Any rites performed by the family members of a person whose soul has left the body is only being done for their satisfaction, and it does nothing to liberate the soul. The soul is liberated based on the actions performed during the earthly life and at the moment of death. The soul is immortal and does not require any rituals, and performing any specific rituals for the dead body is meaningless. So, understanding of the gunas and attempting to move from merely performing actions based on gunas to a state of complete devotion to God is what Vijnana means. The family that willingly donates the organs of the body of a person whose soul has left the body is doing a greater good to humanity than the family who is rigid about performing final rites in the ritualistic manner. The family who is willing to donate the body for medical students to understand the complex machine called the human body and further come out with discoveries is doing a great service to humanity. To be able to make such decisions, one must be adaptable with times and must be able to understand the higher knowledge given in the Gita and in our scriptures. Karma Kand is part of our scriptures and has been preserved more and retained and practiced more traditionally by people than the Jnana Kand, because it is easier. One must read the scriptures to understand this in detail. Gita clearly explains that moving from mere work to knowledge and further on towards devotion, an attempt to understand the formless, all pervading God is what a person must strive for in life, and not focus attention on being able to or not being able to do it in a specified manner.